A letter to God. The farmer's hope. High in the rolling hills of a remote village, there lived a humble farmer named Lencho. He was a man of great faith, hard-working and honest, whose life revolved around his small farm. His land was his only source of food and income, and each season he prayed for the right balance of sun and rain to yield a good harvest. Lencho lived in a modest house with his wife and 3 children. Though they had little, they were content with what they had. Every morning he rose with the sun, tilled the soil, and tended his crops with love and dedication. His faith in God was unshakable, and he believed that as long as he worked hard and prayed sincerely, God would never abandon him. That year, his crops looked promising, lush, green, and full of life. "If only we get a good rain soon," Lencho told his wife one evening, looking at the clear sky. "Then we will have enough corn and beans to last us the whole year." His wife, a woman of simple wisdom, nodded. "God always listens, Lencho. He knows what we need." The storm of despair. The very next afternoon, dark clouds gathered over the horizon. A cool breeze swept through the valley, and soon the first drops of rain fell. Lencho and his children ran outside, laughing as the rain washed over them. The farmer looked up at the sky, whispering, "Thank you, Lord." But within minutes, the gentle rain turned into a violent hailstorm. The sky darkened, and large stones of ice pelted the land mercilessly. The once promising crops were crushed under the relentless assault. Leaves tore from their stems, cornstalks snapped, and the rich soil turned into a muddy wasteland. Lencho and his family could only watch in horror as their entire year's work was destroyed in a matter of minutes. By the time the storm passed, their farm was in ruins. The fields, once full of life, now lay flattened and broken. That night, Lencho sat silently at the kitchen table, staring at his calloused hands. His wife placed a comforting hand on his shoulder, but he did not speak. His heart was heavy with fear and uncertainty. How would they survive? How would they feed their children? A letter to God. Despite his despair, Lencho's faith remained strong. He believed with all his heart that God would help him. And so, he decided to do something extraordinary. He would write a letter to God, ****. Taking a pencil and a sheet of paper, he began to write, "Dear God, you know that I am a poor farmer, and you saw what happened to my crops. My family has nothing left to eat, and we will not survive without help. Please send me 100 pesos so that I can buy seeds and plant again. I trust in you, and I know that you will not abandon me, ****. Your humble servant, Lencho." The next morning, he folded the letter and walked to the village post office. The postmaster, a kind and curious man, took the letter from Lencho and was surprised to see the address. To God. At first he laughed. "A letter to God," he murmured. What faith this man must have. But as he read the letter, his heart softened. Lencho's words were full of pure belief and desperation. The postmaster felt a deep respect for the farmer's faith. He knew he could not let such devotion go unanswered. The kindness of strangers. The postmaster shared the story with his colleagues, and together, they decided to help Lencho. They collected whatever money they could. Though it was not much, they managed to gather 70 pesos. With care, the postmaster placed the money in an envelope and wrote a single word on the front, "From God." The next day, when Lencho returned to the post office, the postmaster handed him the envelope with a warm smile. "Here you go, my friend," he said. "A letter from God." Lencho's hands trembled as he opened the envelope. Tears of gratitude filled his eyes when he saw the money inside. Though it was not the full amount he had asked for, he was deeply moved. He whispered a prayer of thanks, convinced that God had answered him. However, as he counted the money, a shadow of doubt crossed his face. It was only 70 pesos, 30 short of what he had requested. Lencho frowned. God would never make a mistake. If he had asked for 100 pesos, God would have sent the full amount. The only explanation, he thought, was that someone at the post office must have stolen the rest of the money. The second letter. Determined to get what he needed, Lencho sat down and wrote a second letter. "Dear God, asterisk, thank you for sending me the money. I knew you would not fail me. However, I only received 70 pesos, and I need the full 100 to buy seeds and plant again, asterisk. Asterisk, please send me the rest, but do not send it through the post office. Those people are thieves, asterisk. Your faithful servant, Lencho." The postmaster laughed when he read the second letter, but he was also deeply moved. Lencho's faith was so pure, so absolute, that he never once doubted God, only the people around him. The true meaning of faith. The story of Lencho's letter spread throughout the village, touching the hearts of many. People marveled at the farmer's faith, and some even donated more money to help him. The postmaster and his colleagues, though they chuckled at Lencho's misunderstanding, respected him even more. In the end, Lencho's unwavering belief in God was rewarded. With the help of the villagers, he was able to buy seeds, plant his fields again, and provide for his family. But the true miracle was not just the money. It was the way his faith inspired those around him. His letter to God became a symbol of hope, generosity, and the power of belief. Epilogue. Faith is a powerful force. It gives strength in times of despair, hope in times of darkness, and courage to face the unknown. Lencho's story teaches us that sometimes help comes from unexpected places. Perhaps God does not send miracles directly from the sky. Perhaps he sends them to the kindness of human hearts.